When Rigathi Gachagua says that William Ruto wants fuel prices to increase by up to 40 shillings per litre, Kenyan politics immediately enter that familiar African village scene where two elders who once shared one stool now hold separate press conferences about who owns the stool. I want us to unpack this moment with practical wisdom and some bit of humor. You see, in African politics, when former allies begin issuing warnings about each other, wananchi definitely know that the cooking oil in the political kitchen has finished. African elders were right when they said that when two brothers fight over land, even the fence becomes a witness. Once upon a time, these leaders were speaking the same language about fuel prices. Now one says prices will go up, while wananchi are asking, so who was holding the steering wheel when the vehicle started climbing the hill? It is like a matatu conductor warning passengers about fare increases after completing the collection of fare himself. You see, fuel prices in Kenya are not just economics, they are emotional affairs. In Kenya, fuel prices are like rain in a farming village. When petrol sneezes in this country, everything automatically catches a cold. If fuel goes up by 40 shillings, border fares are going to stretch their legs. Matatu conductors are going to remember inflation immediately. Unga is going to begin consulting his lawyers. And tomatoes are going to relocate from 5 for 20 to 2 for 20 without warning. African elders were right when they said that when the elephant steps on the grass, it is the grass that explains the pain. Citizens are the grass in this story. Be that as it may, political warnings about future prices in Kenya are really neutral. When a senior politician announces that fuel prices are about to rise sharply, there are usually three possible meanings hidden inside the message, like beans inside a samosa. The first possibility is a genuine warning. The second possibility is political distancing strategy. And the third possibility is a signal that internal government conversations are leaking like a bucket with ambition holes. Because in African politics, the child who announces the rain often saw the clouds forming earlier. It is interesting to note that timing is always the real message. You see, when such statements come from someone who was recently inside the engine room of government, wananchi begin asking, is this prophecy or is this insider information? It becomes like a former cook standing outside the hotel and shouting, today the soup is going to be salty. People naturally ask, were you in the kitchen this morning? As elders say, the rooster that crows about dawn may have slept facing the east. You see, fuel politics in Kenya is the most sensitive politics we have. Because fuel prices affect everyone. Fuel prices directly affect the farmer transporting potatoes from Nyandarua. Fuel prices directly affect the teacher commuting from Rongai. Fuel prices directly affect the boda rider in Kisii. And it directly affects the biashara owner in Isili. So when leaders argue about petrol, they're not just arguing about petrol, they're arguing about public patience. Because African elders were not wrong when they said that when the cooking pot begins to shake, the whole household becomes alert. Fuel is that cooking pot. But what is the political chess behind the statement by Rigathi Gachagua? You see, sometimes such statements are not just predictions. Such statements could be positioning. It is like a passenger loudly warning, this vehicle is about to get a puncture while quietly stepping closer to the door. The message may be, I am not the driver of this vehicle. African elders were right when they said that when the canoe begins to leak, the clever fisherman checks where to place his foot next. But what are the Wananchi actually hearing from Rigathi Gachagua? You see, citizens don't hear policy details first. Citizens are hearing another increase is coming. And immediately their brains begin to calculate. They begin to calculate transport. They begin to calculate food. They begin to calculate rent. They begin to calculate school fees. And they begin to calculate airtime survival strategies. Because in Kenya, fuel prices are not just numbers. They are monthly budget earthquakes. So when leaders speak about them publicly, Wananchi quietly ask the oldest political question in the village. If the elders know the storm is coming, how come they didn't fix the roof earlier? My name is Rigathi. If it is your first time here, make sure to subscribe and to follow this channel for more political analysis.